all my fight fans? So it looks like we got ourselves some pretty big news in the MMA world. Francis Ngannou is no longer contracted to the PFL. They are now parted ways. They are now going their separate ways. Now Francis Ngannou is what you would call a free agent to join excuse me, anywhere he wants to join. Where should he go? Of course we all know where he should go. Of course we all know where we want him to go. And that would be the UFC. Guys, we gotta have Francis Ngannou in the UFC. The UFC heavyweight division has never been as bad as it's been now. It is atrocious. It is just beyond words. I can't even put it in words, honestly, on how bad the UFC heavyweight division is. You got Jon Jones, who's on his way out. You got Tom Aspinall, who's hurt. We do not know what timetable he's going to be having. We do not know what or when he's going to return. We really have no really good up-and-comers. We got Alex Pereira, but we're not sure how long he's going to stick around because he's a little older. I mean, I know Francis Ngannou's no spring chicken, but at least now he brings options. He brings more we can have more fights we can have to the table, like if Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou, a Francis Ngannou versus Tom Aspinall, a Francis Ngannou versus Alex Pereira, and vice versa. These guys all could fight each other for years, for at least 3 years, while we get all these other up-and-comers in the heavyweight division making a name for themselves and making things more interesting within the heavyweight division. But until then, are we going to get it? Well, the biggest thing is, and you hear, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's Dana White. It's Dana White. Honestly, I cannot say it's Dana White personally, because when it comes to it being, whether it be Dana White or not, I know him and Francis have beef with each other. I know him and Francis have issues in the past regarding contracts, regarding what he can and cannot do. But you know what? It's not just on Dana. It shouldn't be just on him. You know, Dana White is a businessman. I understand where he's coming from on certain things. Like, yes, I wish fighters had certain freedoms and whatnot. But it's also Francis Ngannou being a little hard-headed sometimes. Francis Ngannou needs to be able to lean back a little bit and just be a fighter. You know, he went out there. He actually did what he wanted to do. He went out there and boxed. He made some money. He got into another MMA organization. He actually won against UFC, if you really think about it. You know, when he when he went in there and fought Cyril Gane for the interim and undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, he was the champion at the time. A lot of people went against him. A lot of people felt like he wasn't going to do it. And then when he won, that was great. He left the company. Now, a lot of people felt like, oh, well, he's not going to make as much money. It's going to not be as great. Well, he fought Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Yes, both of them he lost. But I promise you, he made more money in those two fights than he would have 5 to maybe 10 fights with the UFC. So, yes, he won. He got his bag and he won. And he went out there and tried it. So, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, let bygones be bygones. And let's call it a day and let's sign up a new contract. Now, I know Francis Ngannou might hold Dana White's feet to the fire just due to the fact that there's this whole ongoing back and forth regarding fighter pay, especially after they signed Eubank at a $15 million. Oh, no, sorry, not Eubank. Chris Ben. To a $15 million contract, then yeah, they got all that going on right now. They got all this fighter pay with Sean O'Malley, with a lot of other fighters saying stuff regarding fighter pay, which I agree 100%. It sucks. You know, one fight where Conor Benn fights and he gets 15 million, where these other fighters have to fight multiple times to get 15 million. And yeah, it's not necessarily right. It's not necessarily fair for these guys to do it. But it is what it is regarding the contracts, because I believe someone else stated, I can't remember exactly who it was, they knew what they were signing. They signed the contract. It shows the price on there, what they're going to be signing, so you really can't be that surprised. But nonetheless, I know Francis Ngannou is going to be a little bit of a pretty penny, because yes, at the end of the day, I believe he knows how much the UFC needs him. But at the same time, unless he plans on just boxing, which I'm not sure when that's ever going to come to fruition. I mean, yeah, he could get still fights. He could get a rematch with Tyson Fury. I'm sure Tyson Fury would like to run that back, even though he did win. But I'm sure he wants to show everybody, like, hey, that whole knockdown was a bit of a fluke. You know, I didn't take it serious, so let's run it back where he could get more money in there. I'm sure he would love to fight Deontay Wilder. That's a name right there as well. So yeah, unless he wants to do that where he could make money, absolutely. But if he's ever trying to plan on fighting MMA again, the only place to do it is the UFC. So that means he's going to need the UFC just as like the UFC needs him. They need each other in order to make really good blockbustering fights. So there you have it, guys. What's going to happen with Francis Ngannou? Is he going to go to the UFC, or is he going to just stay with boxing? Is Dana White going to put his ego aside and say, hey, you know what? Come on over. Let's talk it out. Let's work things out. I know we have beef. I know we said things. I know things have been done. Well, let's work it all out and let's start making more money with each other. Is that going to happen? I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.